Good morning, okay, at 7:34. Happy Wednesday to you. Wow, already there in the middle of the week, right? Yeah, they just kind of all blend together. Is that what the real estate market feels like right now, Jay? It just all blends together?
The scary part of that was that I couldn't help you. Like, you were going like, well, I'm like, I don't know what day it is either. So, and after the trip down here,
you might have gone through a couple of days just driving down here today.
I think I did. And apologies to the man above for my language on the way down, because
Jesus, take the wheel. That's what you got to do
Lord,
each day.
yeah.
Jay White, Centralina Realty, centralinarealty.com. Jay, you've been around Iredell County, Statesville territory mostly, right, for your whole life, right? Is that right?
Yeah, I left twice, and so I'm back for a third time. I guess I'm staying this time. So,
The real estate market, what you're seeing on the day-to-day, a lot of people wondering, okay, are interest rates making that change for people now, right? Or is it opening up the market? Did that work? Because that's one side of the equation. The other side is the supply conversation.
Right.
Did the interest rates do anything for people?
So what happens with interest rates, and just for me personally, I think 6 to 7 is a healthy interest rate. It's high enough that the banks they're making money, so they'll lend, and it's low enough that the mortgage isn't crazy. I'm old enough to remember 18% mortgages. So, it's a healthy rate. If rates drop too much, too many people hit the market and prices go up. And so there's a delicate balance in there. So interest rates aren't the only factor. We talk about it a lot. Well, if interest rates would drop, things that happen, price will go up. That's what'll happen. It might shake some sellers loose, because a lot of sellers aren't selling right now, which brings up the topic of time in the market, right? Like, people say, well, I'm going to wait till prices go up before I sell. I'm like, well, you might want to buy something at that same time. Won't that go up too, right? So don't time the market. If you think it's time to sell for whatever reason, sell. If you're looking to buy. We'll find the right deal. The market's good. And right now, I think we're in a pretty healthy place where it's not too much a buyer's market. It's not too much a seller's market. So both sides bring something to the table. So it's a good time to be in the market.
There's a different season too, and for each individual, right? Some might be first-time home buyers, first-time renters. Maybe you got kids coming out of college, and there's first-time. How do I live somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the first question. But then you've got the seasoned folk moving second, third time, maybe downsizing, retirees, investors. The gambit. Are you seeing any particular one of those categories doing really well right now in the market?
Well, I love a first-time home buyer. Love working with first-time home buyers, because they'll do whatever you tell them. And I say that's kind of sarcastic, but it's true, because the guy that bought a house 20 years ago comes in to buy another house, and he says, "Well, I bought a house, sold a house 20 years ago. I know what I'm doing." No, you don't. It's a totally different world now than it was 20 years ago. And so we can help a first-time home buyer that's open-minded through the process, a lot less hiccups, instead of having to re-educate a seasoned home buyer or seller like that. So we operate in this market today, and so we know we know where the pitfalls are, and so we try to avoid those.
In this day and age, there's a lot of technology, right? There's a lot of conversation, right? The lawsuits, even if consumers don't really know the ins and outs of it, they hear, I hear that there's some kind of lawsuit. Do I need a real estate broker representing me whenever I'm going to sell my house? What do you say to someone who says, wow, I don't even know if I need a broker to sell my house?
We did not rehearse this, right? Our conversation was not about what we were going to talk about, but I brought something.
Oh, nice.
This is we advertise our listings out of state, because we have a lot of people moving into the state. So a lot of our ads run around the country in different places, stuff like that. I woke up to a message from a response to one of my social media ads, which is hilarious sometimes, right? But this lady said, and she's in Pennsylvania, just for full disclosure, but she says, this is a quote, "It's not right that the buyer does all the research for a house, and the lucky agent who did, all caps, nothing to assist the buyer to find said house earns buku bucks." I'm signing up for that program when it comes available. Earns buku bucks just for showing up a couple times. Now that's it's not true. And what I find interesting in that, all the research she did, all that information that she found was aggregated by who? Realtors. So our job starts before you ever meet us, and then finding the house is really the fun part. That's an app. It's a game, hunting for the houses. And for us, showing the houses, that's the fun part of the business. Our work starts when you find the house. And our job then is to get you in that house any way we can and get everybody happy. So, that conception that realtors just flip on the lights and get a big check in the mailbox, that it's not true.
And over time, right, the brokerage community's been around a long time, over almost 100,000 active licensees in the state of North Carolina. You want to find the professional that knows what they're doing, that holds your hand, walks you through the process. Jay White, Centralina Realty. How's the team at Centralina? What are they doing? Is it like old school again? Everybody's back in the office. There's the fax machines going off. You got the phones ringing
off the hook.
Carrying your bag phone out to the car to make it to the next listing after you looked in the MLS book. What's going on?
You say that like it's not true, but I do still have a bag phone just for old time's sake. But we're still pretty virtual. You know, we have actually a staff meeting today after this, and so we'll be together and have our training sessions or whatever you want to call it, tuning up sessions. You know, so we do that at least once a month. We do come together. So we've grown a little bit. We've added a couple agents, and so that's good. We're actually having a good year. Our sales years has been really better than what I'd forecasted to be. So I'm happy with all that. Still room to grow. Still looking for a few more agents because I think the market's really going to take off here. And we got a lot of demand. I mean, where we live, everybody wants to live here. And thank goodness for that.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have. You want that. And for those that are investing in the marketplace, right? There are some that live locally that invest. There's some out-of-state investors that are investing. That's healthy for a marketplace as well to create rental opportunities for folks.
Yeah, there's probably a little bit of a challenge with the the big investment firms coming in and buying up chunks,
but the mom and pop investors, they're probably some opportunity out there.
Yeah, and we work with a lot of them. We do property management for investors, and so we deal with that a good bit. But there's a lot of growth in the rental market, and I think you're going to see more of it. You know, we were talking about that earlier too. That a lot of people are, I won't say being forced to, but rentals becoming the better option for a lot of folks.
And in that sense, managing a property, right? If someone's got a property that they want to manage, what do you like about the property managers? Because that's very different than the representative buyers.
It's an entirely different animal, and it is. Our focus at Centralina Realty has always been about helping people find good homes. Like we believe that everything. Your whole happiness, shelter is one of those Maslow's hierarchy, right? Shelter is one of the first basic needs that we have. And so, getting somebody into a home is important to us. And so a lot of times that's a rental. And so helping somebody find a rental is just as important as helping somebody buy a house. And so we work really hard on it. It can be a little more challenging just because of availability. And then the property owner becomes a third party in the transaction sometimes too. So, but from a property owner's perspective, we do a better job at placement than you'll do on your own usually. And so we put better tenants in their properties. And for tenants, we tend to advocate for their needs better with the property owners. So we kind of work both sides of that.
Well, and you don't want necessarily, if I'm the property owner, to have to deal with the day-to-day. There's a smoke detector needs a new battery or something's going on like that, to that level of property management, to create that freedom in the investment. What's that been like for you guys to be able to help your clients kind of scale up, let's say?
There's two kinds. I mean, some of the owners want to be engaged in that they just take their maintenance request directly and deal with it themselves, and that's fine. Some don't know the first thing about it. And so we handle that for them too. So we have a good network of vendors and suppliers that we work with.
So all ends of the spectrum, whatever your need is right now in real estate. Jay White, Centralina Realty, CentralinaRealty.com. All right, so what are you looking for in the market then right now? What do you hope for in the future? What do you think is the answer? Because as a broker, I imagine you're not just looking at servicing your people now, but you're keeping an eye on the horizon of what's next. I mean, that's part of real estate, is that it's cyclical. So what's kind of your hope for the future here?
I'm just looking for buyers and sellers. We'll work the rest out. I try not to get too hung up in the back end politics of what goes on. And we've had a struggle for the last couple of years with, waging war with the DOJ and stuff like that. And I try to keep that away from my clients and not put that behind what we do. Now, what we say behind closed doors about that amongst ourselves is different, of course, but I don't want my clients to know about that. I want them to just know that, I'm going to get that home, or I'm going to sell this home, and I'm going to get the most money or best deal or whatever. I want them to know that we're advocating for them. And that's why we say, we put you at the center of everything we do. I mean, we really, really do that. And it's a challenge sometimes.
Jay White, Centralina Realty, from the Statesville area, the Iredell County area. Was it Statesville, actually, like from Statesville?
I was born in the old Davis Hospital. The people in Statesville know where that is. So, 19... Whenever, yeah.
Okay, very cool.
Nate Brigazzi, that's right. He says, I'm old. I'm from the 1900s.
Yeah. I use that one too, though, Jay. Enjoy it.
Jay White, Centralina Realty, CentralinaRealty.com.